solar pack that people put in their houses? Are you sincerely trying to save the world?
At Mission Control, Elon Musk, the chief designer and CEO of SpaceX, watches the show with unimaginable satisfaction. The vertical takeoff, vertical landing Falcon 9 rocket, known as Grasshopper, being tested out there represents the next big leap in the space industry. A cheap, reusable rocket that can not only withstand the stress of re-entry and multiple missions, but does so with comic book style. And that is the signature of the true Elon Musk project. One part hard science, one part cold business, and one part straight up sci-fi. Today's video is all about how he is changing humanity. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to never miss out on any videos we post. Here we begin. It is that combination that has earned the 42-year-old South African native his place behind the controls at SpaceX, a company he founded in 2002 to serve the commercial space industry. SpaceX's Grasshopper vertical takeoff and landing test vehicle, VTVL, takes a 131-foot test flight at the company's rocket testing facility in McGregor, Texas, Photo SpaceX. It's also that combination that has enabled his other company, Tesla Motors, to bring his utterly futuristic, utterly powerful electric cars from the narrow luxury market to mainstream America. And finally, it's the combination that has earned him his rank as Industry Week's 2013 Technology Leader of the Year. A clear vision. 20 years ago, IW began, celebrating the scientists, leaders, and visionaries responsible for shaping and advancing the progress of technology, be it high-tech gadgetry or lab science, software, or hardware. Musk, perhaps more than anyone in the industry today, maintains a clear vision for what real 21st century tech is supposed to do and what kind of future it should be creating. In pursuit of that vision, through his early work at PayPal and Zip2, then SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City, and with projects like Hyperloop, 3D modeling, and autonomous driving, Musk has recreated, rejuvenated, and redefined every industry he has encountered, from media and finance to transportation and energy. And in that vision is the logic of the future according to Musk, creating a perfect world. There's no reason for Elon Musk to be fiddling around with trains. With a new mass-market electric car on the brink of release from one of his companies and nearly 50 space missions already booked for the other, he should have more than enough to keep him busy. But when California began its billion-dollar high-speed rail project earlier this year, he just couldn't help himself. How could it be that the home of Silicon Valley and JPL, doing incredible things like indexing all of the world's knowledge and putting rovers on Mars, would build a bullet train that is both one of the most expensive per mile and one of the slowest in the world, he wrote on Tesla's website in August. The train, he explained, would be both slower and more expensive to operate than flying, not to mention more dangerous by 2 orders of magnitude. The whole project, despite its potential, or maybe because of it, was just a disappointment, he said. The Hyperloop, as he calls it, was drawn up in an epic all-night design session and could one day connect distant cities via a high subsonic speed, pneumatic-driven train that could take travelers from, say, San Francisco to LA in about 30 minutes. The details for the project are still sketchy and still very much in progress, but that's not the point. The point is the process. Musk's sketch of the Hyperloop outlines a revolutionary new transportation system that could take passengers from LA to San Francisco in about 30 minutes. Tesla Motors. Musk's work on the Hyperloop illuminates the creative logic at work that has allowed him to contribute so heavily to American industry in his brief 18-year career. Moreover, it contains all the secrets to what has made him a technology leader unlike any other. In a perfect world, a world in which technology constantly advances, where there are people on board eager to invest in those advances to keep the improvement going, Musk would be just another Silicon Valley engineer tinkering in a lab. But the world isn't perfect. The U.S. has abandoned space exploration, alternative energies, and sustainable transportation. Technology is not improving at the rate Musk and his generation grew up expecting. In short, the future Musk envisioned for himself and the world wasn't happening on its own. So he's had no choice but to create a better world himself. To change humanity as society becomes increasingly automated by robots and AI, one of the ways forward for humanity will be to physically merge with machines, Elon Musk said. In comments made at the World Government Summit in Dubai last month, the billionaire entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX said, "The kind of daily dependence we already have on personal technology would only increase as time goes on. to the point where human intelligence and machine thinking effectively become one. To some degree, we are already a cyborg. You think of all the digital tools that you have, your phone, your computer, Musk told the crowd. The applications that you have, that fact that you can ask a question and instantly get an answer from Google and other things. Calling this the existing dependence on personal technology, a digital tertiary layer. Musk said it's effectively already part of our neurobiology, affecting the way we think, but also with the ability to outlive our physical selves. Think of the limbic system, the animal brain and the cortex as the thinking part of the brain, and your digital self as the third layer. He said, if you die, your digital ghost is still around. All of their emails and social media, that still lives if they die. While it's easy to see the logic in this, the more out there part of Musk's vision is how humanity will evolve in the future, especially in a world where robots can perform many of the jobs humans currently do and even outperform us. In that kind of world, where huge numbers of unemployed workers exist on a universal basic income, how will people find satisfaction? Musk answers that humans will deepen our ties with technology even further, to the point where we become cyborgs as a way of upgrading our inherent natural abilities. Over time, we will see a closer merger of biological intelligence and digital intelligence. It is all about the bandwidth of the brain, he said. Some high bandwidth interface to the brain will be something which helps achieve a symbiosis between human and machine intelligence, which solves a control and usefulness problem. It's not the first time Musk has talked along these lines. Last year, he spoke about the need for humans to consider getting brain implants in the future to keep up with the rapid evolution of AI, a technology Musk fears could become dangerous to the world if it isn't tightly controlled. He's also been known to share some other, shall we say, interesting observations about life as we know it. This is the guy who says it's not impossible and maybe even likely that the physical universe we perceive is a giant simulation being run by an alien civilization more advanced than our own, with Musk calculating that the odds that we are in base reality is 1 in billions. He's also suggested that we nuke Mars to make it habitable, but we might want to hold off on that for now, since newer developments with SpaceX rockets could have us making return trips to the Red Planet in less than 10 years. Of course, as much as we love the idea of augmenting our biological selves with cybernetic enhancements that give us all kinds of new abilities, Musk's visions of tomorrow's Earth have their problems too. In a future world where it's illegal to drive cars because self-driving vehicles are so much safer and there aren't any jobs or even household chores to occupy us, making a fresh start on Mars doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Validation. And this, one could say, is the real test of Musk's vision and his ability to shape it. After 10 years of losses, 10 years of profitless labor and experimentation, Musk has begun to create a world where investors can buy spaceships online, where private citizens can break out of orbit or create new business in outer space. It's a world in which families can drive across the country in electric cars, charged through a network of solar-powered stations, or executives can dip across hundreds of miles in minutes without leaving the ground. It's a future that suddenly looks a lot like the one we have been promised. So that's all. Stay tuned and subscribe for more.